Yeah, don't worry about it. It's all right. No, look, trust me. It's a great strategy. It's already working for you. Don't worry about it. Look, I'm going to have to let you go. I just stepped into a dealership. I'm shopping for a car, and never mind what brand. And yes, I might just buy today. I don't know. I'll let you go. Bye. Sorry about that.
You could have kept that going. It's all right.
That's all right.
All right. I'm Matt.
Hi, I'm Sean.
Sean, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. How you doing?
Great. First time to our store?
It is. Actually, I was just across the street. My girlfriend's doing some shopping, and I saw the sign, so I thought I'd just kind of step in and take a look.
Great. So you got to wait for a little bit?
Yeah, I've got about a half hour or so.
Terrific. Half an hour?
Yeah.
Terrific. Okay. Well, if you've never been here before, let me give you a little introduction.
Sure.
Speedway Motors, we've been selling Audi since the late 60s.
Okay.
I've been here with the brand now, since 2000, 10 years. I'm actually coming up on 12 now, eh? I've been a passionate person attached to this Audi brand for those 10 years. I'm proud to say that I'm an owner. I make my living with the brand, and I'm also a huge fan.
Okay. I have to admit, I mean, I've followed the brand here and there and stuff, and I'm seeing a whole lot more on the road, but I can't say that I know the lineup.
So you're starting to recognize them on the road?
Well, yeah, well, you start to see, I mean, especially with the new grille, and, you start to seeing a lot more of them.
Well, that's the thing.
So,
Audi is very distinct, and they have a very unique look, and we're very proud of that. That's makes me so happy to hear that you recognize them on the road.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
And I'm gonna tell you about that a little bit now. Just before we get started, if you wouldn't mind,
Sure.
What do you drive now?
I've got a couple of vehicles. My daily driver is a 2009 Range Rover. And
oh yeah, SUV.
Yeah, so it's the supercharged version. But my girlfriend really likes it, so she's kind of taken it over. So
Okay.
I'm actually looking at, we're not looking at replacing, we're looking at adding.
Okay.
And I'm looking for, because that vehicle serves a specific purpose, for my daily driver, I'm kind of maybe looking for something that maybe is an SUV, but still gives me the same kind of power and the same kind of drivability.
Okay.
I like something that's powerful, not just for highway merging and passing, but I like something that's a driver's car. So if it's got feel to it, if I can feel the road, that's what I'm looking for.
Okay.
So,
Sorry, did you want?
I was just going to say, some gorgeous vehicles here.
Yeah, we're very proud of them. You did mention that you like the SUV aspect of what you're currently driving. You take it off road.
We do cottage, and when you throw all the seats back and you start loading it up, it's great kind of cargo carrying and stuff. But because we're keeping it,
yeah,
I'm not going to buy a second one. I
Right.
don't like it that much.
Yeah.
So
is it going to be still used for that purpose then?
it's going to be used for that purpose.
Okay.
For me, most of the time, I'm either going to be alone in the car, or I play a lot of golf for work, and I'm looking for a vehicle where I can accommodate a foursome, both for maybe golf bags and three passengers.
Yeah.
So that's the kind of the idea I want. But the Range Rover, that version, gave me the kind of horsepower and the kind of acceleration and also the cornering that I was looking for. So I'd like to replicate that if possible.
Sure, no problem. I think I can accommodate you. I noticed that you keep glancing back to this car. It's attracting you? Something that I'm picking up on here.
Well, you know what? It is. It's a nice looking car. It's got nice lines. Now, let me ask you a question. I mean, not being an aficionado, why Audi?
Why Audi?
Yeah.
Oh,
why?
You're asking the right person. Let me tell you a little something about Audi, and it's very close to my heart. A term that we use in the Audi brand is called Vorsprung durch Technik. Okay?
Okay.
I may speak German through this, but only a couple of times. And what that means loosely is advancement through technology. It's a credo that everybody at Audi, at the factory level and at the dealership level, live by. And it's in the DNA of all our cars. We believe that through technology, we can advance the automotive industry, not only in terms of things like performance and styling, but safety and fuel efficiency.
Okay.
And you can really feel it when you're in an Audi and you start to talk about some of the technology that we are very proud of. And it's in our DNA of all the cars that come from Ingolstadt, and it's in the DNA of the people actually that work with the brand. So I'd like to introduce you to that, if you wouldn't mind. Now, this car that you keep looking at here, this is quintessential Vorsprung durch Technik. This is our masterwork, okay? This is a car that we've taken every piece of our technological advances and applied it to the road.
So this is your flagship?
This is the Audi 2012 Audi A8L.
Okay.
And by L, I do mean the longer version.
Oh,
I
so
think
it's like the 7 Series. It's got a limo version?
Well,
in the sense?
it's a long version, but
Yeah.
it's not like the 7 Series. And we'll get into some of that stuff there.
Okay.
I'll show you some of the differences.
Okay.
Normally with a car like this, I like to just start at the beginning, if that's okay. We'll start at the front and I'll introduce you to it. I remember you said, why Audi? Well, first thing you noticed right away was Audi is distinctive. And we do that with a distinctive face. And that starts with our trapezoidal single framed grille. Powerful. It kind of gives you a hint as to what's hiding beneath the hood. It's recognizable, and then it's highlighted by the 4 rings. And the 4 rings represent the original companies that came together in 1932 to form Audi.
Wow, okay.
And Audi itself, the name, if you translate it through German to Latin, is to listen. And they listen to you as the buyer, to me as the merchant, and the engineers and the designers. They all listen. So that's how you come up with such a beautiful car. Now you go from the mouth to the eyes, and here's another distinct advantage that Audi has, and what makes us so unique is our use of LED. Now LED technology, you're seeing it more and more, but we were the first, and we brought it out not necessarily to be the flashiest on the block. It actually served the first purpose of efficiency. These
I've got
lights,
them in the kitchen, in kitchen cabinets. I mean, they don't burn out.
there you know, they last longer,
Yeah.
and they require so much less energy. And in fact, we did a study, and in 2008, all the cars that were on the road that had the LED lights saved about 10 million liters of fuel and about 20,000 tons of CO2. So
Okay.
a big
That's impressive.
investment into that. Now, people are catching up. Our competition is now putting this in their cars.
Right.
We got a step ahead. We've moved now into LED headlamps.
Oh, so they're just not markers. They're
Not just the marker. The actual headlamp,
headlamp.
is an LED now,
Very
consuming
nice.
about 40% of the.
Now I look at this car over here. Are these two built on the same? Are they the same?
No. Our cousin here, the A7, has its own platform. The A8, like I said, our masterwork has a different kind of platform.
Okay.
Now, I'll tell you a little bit about that. It's interesting you asked me that. We invested a lot of time in a new technology with this car, and it's the use of this. Aluminum. 40% lighter than steel,
Yeah.
strong or not stronger than steel is, more abundant to manufacture, but it's extremely difficult to manufacture. So it takes a lot of engineering, research, and we've got a 10-year head start on everybody else in that department. Now, the advantage of that, you mentioned performance, it's lightweight, right?
Yeah. Power to weight
It's
ratio.
strong. It creates better efficiency. That engine doesn't have to work as hard to get the car to accelerate. It doesn't twist during the corners so that you're keeping your contact patches flat. And this, by the way, is what our
Yes.
competition is using.
Yeah.
Pretty noticeable difference, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Let's move around, and I want to talk about, actually, you know what I'd like to do? Before we move away from the front of the car, I mentioned something under the hood. I better show it to you.
I was just going to ask you about that. So, this being your flagship, this is what powers it?
This, I'm proud to say, is our 4.2-liter V8 engine.
Nice package.
Yes. Isn't that beautifully crafted?
It is.
Look how it fits in there.
These are struts.
These
Braces?
are braces, yes. Again, reduce the flex in a corner, right? Now, you mentioned the power. We do have 372 horsepower, 330 foot-pounds of torque, and we deliver the engine's power to the transmission, 8 speeds, by the way.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay.
And then through all 4 wheels. And I'll describe the all 4-wheel technology in just one second. What I want to talk about is how we generate this power, and it's fuel stratified injection, which is kind of a mouthful. So I like to call it fuel saving idea. So they generate an idea that saves fuel by combining the fuel air molecule in the combustion chamber at a perfect time and perfect pressure to allow it to burn. What is the trade-off? You get the power, right? Power is instant, power is excellent, and you also get great fuel economy. The car actually gets similar fuel economy to some of our hybrid variants from our competition.
Really?
Yeah. Well, weight,
That's true. Weight saving.
right? Huge savings there. Advanced technology here. Now, I mentioned before we move, did you have any questions underneath the hood here?
No.
Okay. So far, power seems okay.
Oh, the power's fine. It's
Yeah.
it's in the range where I like to be.
Okay. I'll close up the hood. Now, when you're talking about Audi design, you're talking about engineers and designers that are actually given a lot of creative freedom. You don't see a mark on there, do you? Okay, good. In terms of design, if you look at the side of an Audi, you can think in terms of 3 lines. And they all meet at the front of the car, and then they separate each other and meet at the rear of the car. And those 3 lines are your dynamic line that follows the lower part of the car and curves upward and gives the car an impression of movement forward. Yeah, like it's about ready to pounce. And then you have your tornado line here that follows the side of the car and wraps around the back and then meets it at the front again. And then your character, your coupe line. And we kept a low center of profile here. So when you turn back and look at this car as you're walking away, you can be proud of it because it looks like a low-slung coupe, but even has room back here and room for the future things that we're going to talk about as we get there. But I did mention the Quattro technology, and I want to talk about that. It's so important to me. And you have a Rover right now, and terrific four-wheel drive, by the way. They use a system that's very good, very
they got
proven.
the terrain management systems.
They do. We use a system that we developed back in 1980, and it's a system of a torsion center differential. And what it does is it senses where there's going to be slippage, and it transfers the power before the slippage happens. Different than a lot of our competition. Normally, what happens with them? They'll spin a wheel.
It's reactive.
Yeah, reactive, lock a clutch, then transfer power. Well, to Audi, spinning a wheel is unacceptable. You've got to transfer the power before that happens. Let's go back to the back of the car here. Another end of the car that's really beautiful to look at. Sorry, there's not a whole lot of room here.
Now, you said this comes in 2 wheelbases? Whoops.
There is, yeah, this is the L version, 13 inches additional here.
So it really is kind of a limousine seating.
Well, I wouldn't say limousine.
But
I mean,
close.
You know, executive seating?
Yeah.
I mean, if there's ever a time that you're in the back seat, and I'll show you when we get inside, it really is very, very nice ride. You know, you might not consider being in the back seat very often, but I'm telling you, your passengers will sure appreciate it.
Is there much of a difference between the short and long version in the way of what features are available? Like, are there a lot of features that are only exclusive to the long wheelbase that you can't get on the short
No, if we
wheelbase?
decided to build you a short wheelbase, we could equip it the same if you wanted to.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not a problem. Yeah.
Awesome.
Moving to the back of the car here, our character moves around the back. LED tail lights.
It's pretty short deck lid too.
And you'll see when I get in there, it's surprising. Like another piece of aluminum. One thing I wanted to mention to you is we do have a lot of technology in this car, and there's a lot of things that we can spend time talking about. But I'll just give you some brief on some of these other things. Audi Presense. This car is intelligent enough to monitor what's going on behind it. Now, in the event that something's happening behind you that you don't see, but the car sees it, it can prepare for a collision. Oh, God, I hope this never happens to you. But it'll minimize how severe that collision is by preparing the seats and the seat belts and putting up the windows and turning the blinkers on.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Pretty amazing technology. Now, we use that in concert with adaptive cruise control. So you can manage the distance between you and the car in front of you all the way down to a stop if necessary.
See, read about it. I've never played with it, but
You know what? When we go out on the drive,
Yeah.
if you have time, I'll show you how it works.
Okay.
You know what? At first, it's a little unnerving, but it actually gets, once you do it a couple of times, it's great.
Okay.
Now, in the trunk, you did mention golf.
Yep.
Okay. Comes up under its own power. Okay. Luckily, I've got a golf bag right here. And I can see how the lift over isn't too high. I can load that in. I've got room for another bag if necessary. Now, say you plan a golf trip. I've got a nice plug-in back here. We can plug in a cooler, you know, keep your drinks cool. And, you know, you can pull over, see some sights. Keep anybody from parking next to you and giving you any door dings. Just being cheeky. But you can see going on a trip will not be a problem. And taking your 3 friends with you, there'll be plenty of room for their gear as well. Right?
So is there a 12 volt here or an outlet?
We have a 12-volt plug-in over in this area here,
Okay.
and that'll plug in the cooler.
Right.
Yeah. And to close it up, watch your fingers. Simple as the press of a button.
First,
Closes
like it's
down
quiet.
nicely. Yeah. I can also do that with the remote if necessary.
Okay.
And we talked about the L wheelbase. So the advantage of having that extra 13 centimeters, I mean, space.
No, it
right?
looks,
I mean, feel free if you want to.
It looks like you're sitting in business class.
Yeah, take the place of an executive and sit in the back of the car.
I never sit back here.
Well, you might, you might get. Well, first off, you're going to get people volunteering to drive your Audi A8.
I guess, yeah.
And then you'll get a chance to sit back here and enjoy it. You do have the luxury of your own media controls, your own jukebox, a power adjustable rear seat, and your own 10.5-inch screen.
And that's all
here.
done through here?
It's done through our multimedia interface, and when we get to the inside the front seats there, I'm going to explain to you a little bit about how that works. But really, a ride for the executive if you ever decided to have someone drive you, or just a great experience for all your friends when you're on that golf trip.
Really judicious choice of materials. Inside.
Well, again, we go back to the engineers and the designers, and you've got a designer who's given freedom at his drawing table, and he's drawing beautiful angles, and he's given the ability to be bold. And then it's taken over to the engineering department, and they're handed the finest leathers, and they're given the finest woods, and they're given the best aluminums, right? So we're allowed to have a cockpit like this. Finding your way through the MMI there.
Is this what it's called? What does MMI stand?
Multimedia interface.
Okay.
So you take all your systems and distill them into one unit. So you have your telephone, your iPod interface and jukebox, and some of your navigation systems can be controlled from the front there. Give that turn wheel a little click.
This one?
Yeah. Just give it a turn. Feel that? You believe that an engineer took some time and actually researched how to make the click feel right and balanced? I mean, at the minutia, every little thing we look into. How's it feel?
You know what? It's very nice.
So
I mean,
now,
it really
now
is.
are you going to volunteer to ride back here while someone else?
I don't know. I like to drive. This is not touchscreen, is it?
No, touchscreen technology, as it might seem easy and convenient, but it actually, it gets really cluttered on the screen. And the screens can't be as high a pixel when you have a touchscreen as well.
Nice.
Now, if you want to access the menu there, the radio, these are your individual controls, and then the passenger has controls as well.
Okay, cool.
Let's move up to the front, because that's the most important part. I've talked a lot about the design of the car, the dynamic of the car, but it's got to fit, right?
Yeah.
It's just like trying on a new suit. It's got to feel right that first time. So let me just make sure that the seat is in the right position here. You're a tall guy there, Sean. So. All right, try that on for size. What was your first impression when you sat down?
It's got a nice bolster.
Nice bolstering? Yes.
Oh, this goes down?
It does. It drops away, and I'll show you that in 1 second. It drops away so your line of vision isn't impaired.
Nice.
Okay, so it wraps around you.
Yeah, no, it feels
Like the first time you try on a nice piece of clothing. Yeah?
adjustable steering wheel.
Yes, right here. Let me adjust that for you.
Okay.
That's down, and there is a telescopic function as well.
Nice.
Notice the layout. Very clean, very crisp, beautiful lines again. We talk about that engineer.
Again, really, really judicious choice of
Yeah,
materials.
well, this is Alcantara.
What's that?
Alcantara is a man-made substance, and it's a lot more durable and lighter than suede. So you could have the texture and comfort of a suede interior,
feel of it.
but not have the hairs break off eventually, and it's easily cleaned if necessary. It's lighter. Again, we don't put it in just because it feels nice. There's a reason. We want that performance. Let's not put a lot of weight up high. Let's put something lighter in. Right?
Nice.
Now you're set up in your comfort zone there.
Very comfortable.
And we talk a little bit about some of the technology and Volkswagen technique. You drive often at night?
Yes.
Okay.
We have a cottage.
Okay.
So-
I was thinking I was to ask you that country road.
Yep.
Because statistics are that 25% of all driving is at night, but half of all fatal accidents happen at night. So there's a need there. And Audi engineers realized that. And what they did is they wanted to give you superhuman vision beyond that of your eyes, my eyes, and the headlamps. And how they did that, do me a favor. Give that a press, please, that start button. Yeah, just press it, and let's turn on the car. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to engage the night vision. Let's switch to auto. Okay, now, so what we've got...
Well, yeah, that's...
Yeah. Hidden in amongst the three rings is a thermal imaging camera.
Okay.
And that camera's looking ahead for heat signatures. And in the event that it spots something, which it can see 100 meters past your headlights, it's going to highlight that heat signature. Maybe it's a person, maybe it's an animal, but it's going to give a little highlight so then you're aware of it. Now, if that image moves into your path, it's going to highlight it in red, and now it's going to give you an audible tone. You agree that that might be a nice safety feature?
Yeah, look, there's tons of deer on the road, right?
Yeah. I mean, hopefully we can save some lives with this technology once everybody else
Smart.
catches up. Right?
Very slick.
I'm going to swing around the front of the car, and you will be able to see my heat signature as I come by. You catch it there?
Yep.
Yeah, see it in the camera?
Oh my God. Yeah.
Pretty
it's
amazing,
like
isn't it?
X-ray vision.
Thank you.
It's like a superhero's car.
Remember I said at the beginning, it's our masterwork, and it's,
Yeah,
our place where we put all our pride and all our technology.
They threw a lot of stuff in.
They did. This is the place where we get to do the best. This is the place where we get to spend the most. Now, inside the car, we have, as I mentioned, the MMI system, and how we can control our navigation.
That's the same as in the back, right?
It is. It's duplicated, but this up here has a navigation function.
Right.
And of course, when you get into the car, you take priority. You're the driver, okay? So you can overrule some of the sound system features. The nav system allows you to enter a destination. Here, do me a favor, would you? Just give that little moon button there, just over next
This
there.
one?
Give that one a press. Yeah. Okay. So in your main display there, you have your nav commands, and you have your screen here that can drop away if necessary. We have...
So they duplicate?
They do. They don't duplicate the actual detail of the map, but they'll duplicate
Instructions.
travel as far as the road turns off and things like that.
Okay.
We can do a voice command for navigation if we wish to. We can do something that's very unique and something that's amazing that we're so proud of is we actually have the first in the auto industry touchscreen. So if I wanted to put in a navigation destination and I wanted to spell it, I can do that just with the touch of my hand. And just like I was spelling in sand, this is like I was writing letters in the sand, just like so.
Whoa.
Isn't that
So it's like
incredible?
a trackpad.
It is. It's a trackpad, and it's unique to our brand. And what we're trying to do is keep your eyes up, okay? Keep your focus on the road, okay? Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, it's actually,
Yeah.
it read something that was almost illegible.
Now we can flip to the tabs on our steering wheel here. If you flip over, there's our onboard computer. We can flip over into the Bluetooth telephone. I'll give you a little demonstration of how simple it is. Just hit that spin wheel right there and give that a
Just
push.
press it?
Yeah, give that a push if you would.
Oops, sorry.
Go up down to Audi service and push that there. So like we're calling the dealership and setting up an appointment. And hopefully we can turn up the volume here. I'm just making a call here. Just with your hands, didn't have to leave the wheel. Making a call.
Speedway Audi Service, Tyson speaking.
Hi, Tyson. I'm just demonstrating how the Bluetooth telephone function works with Sean here. Thanks for answering the phone, and I'll see you soon.
My pleasure. You're coming in loud and clear. You got out of here just in time. It was hammering rain here yesterday.
Okay.
You enjoy your time out in Toronto, and Vorsprung Dirt Technic.
Okay. Thanks, Tyson.
Thanks,
Take
Dyson.
care, buddy. Bye-bye.
And the call, just give a push on the spin wheel there. See how simple that was? Hands all
Yeah,
on the
it's
steering
all,
wheel. Now, there's a lot here, okay? And I don't expect you to know this all right away. And that's why I like to take time with it. But I think that what we can do first is let's get on the road, okay? So now, I've put you in the suit. Let's tailor it. Let's do the adjustments. You mentioned to me dynamic. Let's set it up. So now, everything that's dynamic, everything that Audi has bred in racing, the 24-hour Le Mans, all that technology is now at your hands, at your disposal.
So this is called Audi Drive Select?
Yes. What I'm doing is I'm changing all the variables of the car to match your desired driving style that day. So I can adjust the throttle response, the transmission's response, the suspension travel, all of that.
Does it physically alter the height of the vehicle?
The nice thing about a car like this with adaptive air ride is that it knows to lower its center of gravity based on speed, right? Center of gravity, you want it to be lower. We learned all these things in racing, which, by the way, we won the 24-hour Le Mans just recently. I don't know if you follow that, but that's something we're also very proud of. But so now I can tailor the car to fit you, or we can have an individual setting to fit you. And that's all done through the MMI.
So I can customize.
You can. We can set it up so maybe it's got a more aggressive throttle response, but a more subdued shift pattern.
Okay.
I can set it up that way, and then I can program it into the system. I can also program it, as I like to call it, tailoring. I can tailor the way the ambient lighting in the car is. So if you feel like in the mood for a white ambient lighting in here, all the lighting inside your doors, or a sporty or ruby red type ambient lighting, I can custom tailor that. I mean, what other brand gives that option?
And that's done all through this?
It's done through the MMI system here.
Very nice.
Yeah. Now, I've talked to you a lot, and I've given you a lot of information. I think it's time now to let Audi talk to you, okay? And it's going to talk to you through the steering wheel and through your backside and through your foot.
Yeah.
Before we go, I'm going to give you a little something here. I've got a technology breakdown on this little jump drive here, so you can throw that into your computer when you get home.
Okay.
And that'll break down some of those things that we've talked about in greater detail.
Okay.
But let's take this car for a ride and really feel what Vorksprung Technik is like on the road.
Would you be able to bring the car to my office next week?
If you'd
I'm
like,
short of time because I've got to go pick up my girlfriend.
it would be my pleasure.
But could we organize something at my office maybe on Monday?
It would be my pleasure. In fact, I'll come by the office. Do you have a road that you enjoy?
Yeah, and in fact, we can take the highway and then loop back by a back road.
Perfect. That sounds exciting to me.
Yeah.
I'd love to.
All right, great.
Thanks
Awesome.
so much, man.
Thank you.
Yeah, okay.
All right.